All right, y'all, it's Wide Open Radio After Dark, and our featured guest this week in the building, Mr. DonMata. He's got the mixtape coming out, White Collar. First, we want to hear about the story. The story is almost just as interesting as, the music here. So tell us a little bit about your story and your background.
Well, I was born in El Salvador. I came to America when I was 3 years old, and it's one of those stories you see on TV with, I absolutely came from nothing. So I think a lot of times people get me misconstrued on what kind of guy I am now. When people see me pull up in a Maybach, or they see the watch, they see the clothes, they think I'm a conceited, arrogant guy. But I'm so far from that. I'm the most humble and caring dude that you'll ever meet. Just very, respectful. I always give off respect. I respect those who respect me. Now, unless shown otherwise, then I can flip the switch, in a heartbeat. But it was definitely a struggle to get here. It was a journey. I was 3 years old, but I remember, the journey coming from El Salvador and sneaking across the border. I
was just about to say, how did you get here?
I want to hear that.
Yeah. So it's like I said, I was 3 years old. I didn't know my parents for the first 3 years of my life. My mother gave me up to her sister to watch us while her and my father came to D.C., Mount Pleasant.
Okay.
To start up, save up money to be able to bring me and my three brothers over to America.
And that's a kind of a typical story with the...
That is definitely the typical story. And, a lot of families aren't fortunate enough to make it. One, may not save enough money to bring their family over. And two, on your journey to America, you're not guaranteed to get across the border. So, they had these things back then called a coyote. That was the person that would bring you.
Like put you in the back of a truck or something?
Right.
Or?
They would basically sneak you across. They would guarantee your passage to America. So what happened with us, it was back then it was $1,500 a person. So my mother sent $4,500 because she was just bringing me and my two older brothers. My oldest one was already here. So when the person who they gave the money to was bringing us through the desert in Mexico, he left us there.
He just left you there?
He just left us there and took the money.
Wow.
So
shady.
We walked for miles, and it was God, blessed us and allowed somebody to drive by in a truck, and we got in, a truck, and it was probably...
Do you remember this? Or like?
I do remember.
Wow.
I was 3 years old, and, when my parents or my aunties, we talk about it, they're amazing how much I remember and being so young. But I remember getting to the border, and I remember my uncle having to pop a sewer lid. We had to hide in a sewer for hours overnight before we can climb out to run across and literally low crawled under a fence to get into Texas.
Wow. And then how'd you guys get from Texas to D.C.? How'd that work?
Once we were in Texas, we, however we got to Dallas, we flew from Dallas to Dulles Airport. And from Dulles, we came to D.C. And to this day, I can remember the first day meeting my mother. I remember the exact day, because, I know what day we got here.
Right.
But I remember the day that I met my mother first.
And was that like a real emotional... I guess you were only
three, for me,
so.
I didn't know her. So when she tried to hug me, I didn't want to hug her. So I remember my mother crying and telling my aunt that she felt so bad that her baby didn't recognize, because I'm the youngest of four. So it was hard for her, for her baby, not to know who she was. So it was definitely a struggle. So I done been there, done that. I can attest to a lot of things. That's why there's nothing that no man can say to me to put any kind of fear in me, because I've seen hell, and I know what hell is. So, the village I come from in El Salvador, to this day, we don't have running water. We don't have electricity. We don't have paved roads. So it's still, the slums.
It's still rough.
It's the slums.
So when you hear people complain here, you're like, you don't know what hell is.
They don't know the half. They don't know the half, and this is a true story. When I got here, even growing up here, it was cool. We were in America, but I remember sitting on my kitchen cabinets. Nobody was home. My parents worked from 5 in the morning to 11 at night every day. So, we basically raised ourselves, but the streets raised us. So, I was very observant, always been observant to what was going on the streets or around me. So, you pick up on a lot, especially as a kid. But I would sit on the kitchen cabinets, swinging my legs, looking for bread or looking in the fridge. There was nothing there. And I remember the thought as a 3-year-old kid, like, damn, I'd rather be in El Salvador eating dirt. Like, because I literally used to eat dirt off the ground to feed my hunger when I was in El Salvador. You know, when I would get hungry, we literally lived in a clay hut, straw door, you know, and I would go outside, grab a handful of dirt, eat that. So when I was in Mount Pleasant in D.C., I'm like, damn, I can't even go outside and grab dirt. Nothing but concrete outside. You know, so it was rough. But, you know, as time went on, I mean, I'm very blessed and fortunate to be where I'm at now. And
now, when Drake said started from the bottom, now we here.
Yeah.
We talking about eating dirt.
Really.
Yeah.
No, not only was it eating, he said, I'd rather be in El Salvador eating dirt.
Absolutely.
Now, that started from, wow.
Absolutely. So,
Okay.
so that, you know, that was it. But like I said, I definitely remember the journey. It was rough. We did a lot of walking as a 3-year-old, just walking. I'm like, where are we walking to? You know, just not knowing. You just walking. It's like endless walking. And yeah, we caught a lot of rides, hopped on a lot of buses, the back of trucks. But we made it from El Salvador to the border, and we were one of the fortunate families that were able to sneak across the border without getting caught.